We here at Mayhem Media
understand the trials and tribulations of life.
No matter how hard life can get.
Suicide is never the answer.
There's more assistance available today than ever before.
If you or a loved one are suffering from suicidal thoughts, please don't try and take it on alone.
Call or text 988 if you live in the U.S.
Or if you're in Great Britain, call 116123 or text 85258.
The world is a better place with you in it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mayhemtainment. I am, of course, your host, the bad guy of podcasting, JD. And I am joined by yet another member. What can I say? I'm on an Aftermath Pro wrestling run at the moment. The walking war machine, Wes Segura. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So you are part of the Aftermath Pro roster.
Yes, I am.
And you guys are doing another show in September. Is your next show?
Yeah, September the 4th in Olive Hill, Kentucky.
September the 4th in Olive Hill, Kentucky is their next show. I'm sure we may even have you on again before that, and some of your other fellow wrestlers on before then. So I'm sure we'll plug it more. But so you're here to talk to us about wrestling and independent wrestling and Aftermath Pro. So why don't we start with you and how did you get started in wrestling, or how long have you been in wrestling?
I've been in wrestling since 2007.
Okay, so almost 20 years.
Yeah.
All right, and why? What made you become? Why did you decide to become a professional wrestler?
I've loved the business since I was 5 years old. Like, my very first match that made me fall in love with the business was The Undertaker versus Damien Demento from the very first Raw.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're a WWE guy then? Or at least back then, were you a WWE guy?
Yeah, I was a diehard WWE guy.
I was a WWE guy.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut
now
you off.
I'm just you're good. Now I'm just a all-around wrestling guy. I watch it all.
Good. Too much tribalism in wrestling, am I right?
Yeah.
So you said the first match you saw was on the first ever Raw. Is that the first match you saw, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. How old were you, if I can ask?
I think I was either 5 or 6.
Okay. For the first ever Raw. Okay.
Yeah.
The first Nitro sticks in my mind. I imagine like the first Raw that you saw stuck in yours. I was wrestling before the Monday Night Wars, but when the Monday Night Wars took over, wrestling kind of shifted a little bit and changed.
Yeah.
So did you have a favorite wrestler, or was it Undertaker because he was your...
He was my favorite growing up, and then my interest shift. I saw the Road Warriors for the first time, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I like the spikes. Yeah. And then as I got older, I got more interested in guys like the Great Muta and Terry Funk, and now that I'm training at the Aftermath Pro, I get to sit under the learning tree of the great Bobby Blaze. So I'm a fan of Bobby Blaze. I love him to death.
We've been getting a lot of positive feedback from him, from all you Aftermath Pro guys that we've had on over the last couple of weeks. So it seems like he really knows what he's doing, and has a good group of you guys over there at Aftermath Pro. How are you liking the new startup? I mean, you've been an independent wrestler since 2007. Aftermath Pro is literally kind of just launched this year in 2026. So are you enjoying Aftermath Pro? Is it different from what you're seeing in other indie companies you've been a part of over the years, or?
Yeah. Like it's more it feels like a family dynamic. Like we're all brothers and sisters in the ring, but at Aftermath Pro, it feels like we're more than just brothers and sisters. We're like one big happy family.
So that's how it's different from the other indie companies and stuff that you've wrestled in. Now,
there's no there's egos there, but we check them at the door.
Yeah, of course, healthy egos in wrestling is good, but then there's the risk of the unhealthy ego that you see a lot, especially in indie companies, and you do see it in the pro companies as well. They're not immune to it either. So, do you think it's different because you have started it? You're like been here since the beginning, or is it just because of what they're building? Is that why it's different?
It's
not what they're building, but how they're going about doing this.
How they're going about doing it.
That's kind of what I've gathered from them too. I'm highly impressed with. I told Brox Boulder, we had him on an episode, and I said, "Man, you guys are like way ahead of the curve on the indie scene right now." What do you think is your most advantageous? How do I want to phrase this? What do you think the best thing that Aftermath Pro has going for it that maybe other indie companies are not doing?
All of our guys are very professional. That's one thing that Bobby beats into our head every single training day. Professionalism.
So it's a locker room.
Yeah, we can go out there and we can go to BGW or ACW, and they know that we're the professionals.
Okay.
We're not gonna mess around too much. We're just here to do what we need to do.
Okay, so the locker room is the biggest thing, and that's interesting. Now, that's one thing that I'm not necessarily privy to, is what's happening in the locker room. Obviously, as I'm not, a part of the company or anything like that. But so that's interesting. The locker room, okay. And how important do you think? Like, how important? I know the answer to this, but for people who may not know or who may not know about wrestling, how important is the locker room dynamic to a company as a whole?
It's very important. Like, if you have egos, I like to say if people walk around in an independent wrestling company and they think they've already got WWE contracts, then it's not gonna last long. Like, I told a couple of guys at training the other night, just because I've been in the business so many years does not make me better than you or you or you. I'm just me. I'm just here to do what I know.
Yeah.
And what I love.
And all right, so since 2007, you said you've been wrestling. Do you have any favorite matches or favorite opponents that stand out to you?
I faced off with a guy by the name of Randy the King Allen in RCW, Revolutionary Championship Wrestling. It's based out of Portsmouth, Ohio. where I'm from, and
Ooh.
he I love that man to death, and he has given me some of the stiffest chops I've ever had. He chopped me one day and my head was too far forward. He chops me right in the chin. And now when I yawn a certain way, my jaw locks up. So I'm reminded of Randy every time I yawn.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
And do you consider that a lesson that needed to be learned?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't lean forward.
Yeah, don't lean forward. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. And isn't it, speaking from someone who's outside of wrestling, I'm obviously a media guy, so we talk about it, I cover it. I've obviously been a fan for almost my whole life. So, but we don't, the fans and stuff, we're not privy to some of the stuff that happens, on the inside and stuff, despite WWE's best efforts to give us the full glimpse of everything behind the scenes. We still don't know a lot of stuff like that. So had you done that before? Was that like a recurring problem that you just needed to be taught a lesson, or did he just decide that he wanted to teach you that right then and there?
No, it was just an accident. Like,
so he didn't do it intentionally.
Yeah, heat of the moment, I was leaning too far forward, and
okay, so he wasn't intentionally trying to hurt you or teach you a lesson. It's something that you did incorrectly, and then when he just did the regular move, you suffered the consequences.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So that puts it in perspective for me. I thought maybe he was teaching you something.
No.
That maybe, I don't know. That's what I was trying to say. We don't, I don't know how that happens. Like does that happen? Are you when you're training?
Yeah, there's been plenty of times that I've messed up, and they've like not necessarily taught me a lesson that in that sense, but like they pulled me to the side and said, "Hey, this is what's messing up, and this is how we can fix it."
Now, do you prefer as a wrestler? Because I imagine back in the day, that's not the way it was. I imagine you learned your lessons in the ring, and if you didn't know, you got taught pretty hard in the ring. Do you think it's better for the sport now that the teachers and stuff are showing people and not just beating the crap out of them until they learn?
Yes. Like nowadays, yes, it is a lot better. But there are some people training that they need to go back to that old school way.
So there's some people that still need to learn the old way.
Yes.
Well, I mean, if you teach someone the way the new way, and they're still not getting it, then I guess the only thing that's left is to, teach them the way that they're going to learn. So I can't say I fault people too much for that. Let's talk about wrestling safety. Some of the other guys I've been interviewing from Aftermath Pro, no knock against them or anything like that, but they've only been wrestling, a few years as opposed to you, who was going on to, potentially 20 years here. So when it comes to wrestler safety in the ring, and I'm going to include the referee in this because I want to include the referee. Two questions. Let me start with the first one. When a referee gets involved in a match, but it's to make sure that someone's protected, like as an example, I've seen referees hold ladders or hold tables because they're bouncing all over the place and they want them to be safe. I've seen, excuse me. I know online a lot of people, fans especially, sometimes bash that because it's like a giveaway of the show. Like, oh, the referee's holding it. He knows he's going to go through the table. Shouldn't he be stopping them? From my point of view as a viewer, I don't have a problem with the referee. I mean, as a viewer, as a consumer, I know it's a show, right? I know I'm watching a show. So the referee doing something to help protect the wrestlers does not bother me one bit. I honestly don't. I care less about them holding a table or holding a ladder or doing something that protects a wrestler than I do. I'll yell at a referee who's out of position when they're going for a 3 count. I'm like, how are sometimes they gotta sprint across the ring and jump, and then they do the count. They were just out of position. And that even if as a viewer, that makes me more angry than when they're doing something that kind of gives away the show and they're protecting the wrestlers. So, do you have any opinion or thoughts on that?
I'm all for the referees holding the ladder or whatever to keep the wrestler safe. I couldn't tell you a time that a referee held a ladder for me because I've never been in a ladder match in my career. So
wow, that's pretty.
And,
is that impressive? I don't know if that's impressive. What's the right word there?
It's interesting, but now I have a feeling that since I said I've never been in a ladder match, more than likely I'm probably going to be in a ladder match at some point.
Yeah, someone just it was like, whoa, he's never been in a ladder match. That's money. Let's set that up.
Yeah.
So
get the big guy on the ladder. That'll be all right.
Yeah. How tall are you, and what's your billing weight?
I am 6'1" and I weigh in at 380.
So you are a big guy.
Yeah.
At 6'1" and 380.
Yeah.
No, stay off the ladders, bro.
Yes.
Probably good that you've not had any ladder matches. I wouldn't be putting you in ladder matches.
I'd probably be like Big Show, his first Money in the Bank ladder match where he breaks all the rungs as he's stepping up.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Have you done any other gimmick matches? You haven't done any ladder matches, but have you done any gimmick matches?
I did a street fight 3-4 weeks ago. And that was actually my first time going through a table in my career. So
wow. I was just about to say, what about tables or cage matches?
I didn't really get into the whole weapons thing when I first started, but now I'm like, you want to use tables, you want to use barbed wire, okay, let's do it.
Okay. Some of the people I've talked to, they're cool with gimmick matches, but they got to make sense in terms of the story that they're telling. Like they don't want to just, put two random people in a street fight that has no meaning. They have no history or anything. Yeah,
I'm the same way. It's got to make sense. Like you're not going to put me 6'1", 380 pounds in a street fight with Titan Troy, who's like 5'5", 5'4", 185 pounds.
Yeah, at least not with some build-up or some story behind it. Like it would need to have something behind that for that to even make sense. Shout out to Titan Troy. He was just on an episode a couple weeks ago, and we're going to have him and his tag partner. We're going to have Grappling Inc. on after the 4th sometime. So we'll be doing that. Have you done tag matches? Speaking of tag teams, have you done any tag matches?
I've done a lot of tag matches. When I first started, I was teamed with a guy that his name was Tyson Rogers in RCW. And we were the Weapons of Mass Destruction. He was a Muslim. I was the Muslim sympathizer. So.
Whoa! Wow! Really? Okay. I bet you guys caught some heat.
Oh yeah, like the first night that we debuted, we had stuff thrown at us from all over the place.
I would imagine so. And
then when I came, because I took time off from 2009 to 2023. I took time off.
Oh, okay.
Because I was dealing with personal issues and death in the family and all that. And when I came back to wrestling, I wrestled for FTC, which is based out of Ironton. And I was teamed with Nick Morningstar, the Voodoo King, and the Dark Lord Euronymous. We were the Obsidian Dominion. So being
cool.
being in a stable is nothing new to me.
Do you prefer tag matches or singles matches?
I prefer tag matches because if I get blown up or I get tired, I can quickly just tag my partner in and catch a breather.
I was just about to ask. That was going to be my next question. Something that I've never asked. I'll have to ask Brox Boulder and Titan Troy this also. In a tag match, it seems to me though that standing on the corner, especially when you get one of those, where the one guy's getting the crap beat out of them, for several minutes, and then they do the hot tag. But I would think that you'd cool off a little too much in a situation like that. Have you ever found that to be true, where you're on the outside and you start cooling off too much, or does that not really happen?
Yeah. I mean, I've found myself many times cooling off too much, but luckily the fans are yelling at me because I love being a bad guy. I'll turn around and start yelling at them. That'll get my temperature back up. And
so that's how you handle being on the outside. I mean, that makes sense too. Playing to the crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, even when you're on the outside, you're still in the match. You still, it's not just you're not standing there waiting for the next tag. You still have to, you're still part of the match unfolding.
Yeah.
Let me think about what else I was going to ask you there. There was another follow-up with the tag matches, but then I had forgotten it. What about tornado tags? Have you done any of those?
I think I might have done one or two.
Okay. Does that make it more complicated? All four of you guys being in the ring at the same time, as opposed to a traditional tag match?
It kind of does for me, because it's kind of confusing, because I'll go to hit one guy and get hit by the other, and
you got to keep your head on a swivel, I guess.
Yeah.
Have you done any other Royal Rumble style matches or anything with multiple or triple threat or four corners match or anything like that with multiple people?
Yeah, I've done rumbles. I've done triple threats, the fatal four ways and all that.
And do you have a preference on any of those style of matches? Do you like one more than the other, or?
If I had to choose, I would say I like doing the rumbles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any particular reason?
It's like pure chaos. It's controlled chaos, but it's pure chaos.
Yeah. All right. So then this leads me to a good question I just thought of. And I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, but Royal Rumble or World War III?
Oh, I'm an old school guy. I gotta go with World War III.
All right, excellent.
I like the 3-ring mentality.
Yeah, three rings, 60 men. And for anybody who doesn't know who's tuning in right now, WWE does the Royal Rumble. They start with 2 guys, and then every so many minutes, a new person gets introduced. Occasionally, you'll get some build up where there'll be maybe 8 or 10 guys in the ring, maybe in a Royal Rumble at one point. But then usually there's a quick clear out, 1 or 2 guys clear out, then clear out the whole ring or whatever. World War III was WCW's answer to that, or their equivalent, their Royal Rumble, of their own. And what they did was, because WCW competing with WWE, so anything the WCW copied from WWE, they always tried to one up it and make it more grander or more whatever. So WCW for 4 years in a row did World War III, where they got 60 wrestlers in 3 rings. And it was an over-the-top, just like Royal Rumble, over-the-top battle royal, elimination style event. And if you went over the top rope and your feet hit the ground, just like the Royal Rumble, then you were out. And I was always a fan. I mean, the Royal Rumble's cool and all, but I don't like the slow introduction. I thought having 60 guys in the ring all at one time was just a great start to a match. That was my personal opinion.
like I'll give WWE credit. It's the surprise aspect that they
True.
had because you never know who's going to come out.
True.
It could be like Al Snow or the Honky Tonk Man, or like it could be a no name indie guy like Joe Blow down the street.
Yeah. That you're right about that. That's the one thing that you do miss with the World War III aspect was the surprise factor that you could have with having a surprise person return. You know, especially I remember personally when Diesel came back and did a Royal Rumble as Diesel after he had already been retired, and he came back and was
yeah,
a surprise.
That was 2011, I do believe.
You might be right. Yeah, probably around there. Probably around that time. Yeah. Diesel's never won a Royal Rumble, just in case anybody wants to know. A little fun fact for you. In fact, there's another like kind of specific stat. I don't know exactly what it is, but like one of the only WWE champions to never win a Royal Rumble, or some weird stat. Diesel has some weird stat with the Royal Rumble because he's never been in one. And so you prefer World War III? I definitely would agree with that. The 3 rings and stuff. So, but you were a WWE fan, so that's interesting that you preferred the WCW Royal Rumble version.
Like as I got older, I became more of a fan of like WCW and ECW and like the others, like AWA.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the wrestling? Let's talk a little bit about wrestling mainstream now a little bit. The WWE, we have AEW, we have TNA. With WWE's acquisition of AAA, they're kind of getting into the mainstream a little bit now. Do you have a favorite going on today?
I've been getting really into AAA.
Okay.
Like,
I've been hearing that from a lot of people now that Undertaker's running it, and they kind of are on in the mainstream more a little bit now since the WWE picked them up.
Like, I've always been a fan of like Japanese wrestling and Mexican wrestling and all that. So I love like New Japan and like AAA and CMLL and all that.
Yeah, the Lucha Libres. That's one thing the WCW always had over the WWE was the cruiserweight division. WWE was never able to make a cruiserweight or light heavyweight division, at least not during the Monday Night Wars. Is specifically what I'm talking about.
They tried, but it just didn't work.
No, it didn't. They didn't have the right guys. They tried to make a light heavyweight division, but that's not what made WCW's cruiserweight division so popular. It wasn't just that you had smaller guys wrestling. It was what they were doing in the matches that was drawing the people in. So I'm trying to think of what else I wanted to ask you, but I think we've pretty much gone through a lot of the stuff. Is there anything that you want to talk about that I might have missed, or anything that anything that you got coming up other than the event in September? Do you have anything else coming up before that?
We got September the 4th in Oliveville, September the 5th in Inez, Kentucky. And I'll have to check my schedule, but I think we've got others coming up.
Okay. Well, we'll have you on again, of course.
Yeah.
I want to keep working with you guys from Aftermath Pro. I think you guys are doing different stuff. I think you guys are doing it in a different way. And I think you guys have found a new key to the recipe of indie wrestling with what you guys are doing. And I want to see where it's going to go. And I'm happy to help. I'm happy to have you guys on to be able to showcase. So if you have any matches coming up that you want to come on and talk about, don't ever hesitate to hit me up and say, hey, can you have me on? I got a match coming up next Saturday. Can you have me on this week so that I can promote it or hype it or whatever? So I want to help with indie wrestling. I want to be able to help promote that and stuff. We've kind of taken a step back from the mainstream wrestling a little bit. We've shifted to AEW coverage instead of WWE coverage now, but and we've scaled back some of our coverage, but we're not doing that with the indie wrestling. So any indie companies or indie wrestlers, if you want to come on a show, reach out to us. You know, we definitely would love to have you on anytime. You can promote an upcoming event or match, whatever you want. You can talk about, we just had Chad Casey on. He was talking about his slow motion. I'm going to get it wrong again. I apologize, Chad Casey. His slow motion capture or whatever he does. He was telling us about that.
His stop motion.
Stop motion. That's what it is. It's stop motion. Yeah, stop motion. So, I mean, we had a whole conversation about that. And then when he was on Headlocks, I actually tuned into him and then made J-Max a friend. The hosts of Headlocks are our friends. In fact, we'll talk for a minute after the show. If you haven't been on their show yet, we'll get you on their show too.
All right.
But, yeah, so, you know, anytime you want to come on and, you know, talk about whatever, it doesn't matter, man.
All right.
And make sure you follow the page. If we have something like, I don't know what your interests are outside of wrestling, but we do other, Mayhem Media does other stuff. That's why we fit into this niche. For anybody who's tuning in, Mayhem Media is unique like that because we offer a chance. We have wrestlers on, they can talk about wrestling and stuff, but then we also offer them a chance to come on and talk about other stuff that's not always just wrestling related. So, you know, follow our page and keep track of our schedule. If you ever want to do anything else, we do movies, TV shows, we do all kinds of stuff, and we'd love to have you on anytime.
I could talk for hours about video games. I absolutely love those.
Video games. Well, let's talk for a minute about video games before we close out the episode. Then, are you an Xbox or PlayStation guy?
I'm a fan of all three. I have a PS5, an Xbox, and a Nintendo Switch. So.
All right. Well, I'll accept that. If you would have said PS5, I would have closed the episode down. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I have an Xbox. I've been an Xbox guy. I was a PlayStation guy during the PlayStation 1, and I even had a PlayStation 2 for a while when it came out. But just Xbox has got better servers and stuff. So I'm more of an Xbox person. But I also don't really give a crap, PlayStation or Xbox, you know. Play whatever you want. I honestly think just like the tribalism with wrestling, right? Tribalism with wrestling. Shut up. It's time for it to end. Just enjoy wrestling and shut up.
It's almost like when I was in high school, my friends would fight over which was better, Ford or Chevy.
Oh my goodness, I know.
Yeah.
Turns out neither one. No.
I know. I'm a Dodge guy. I dodge both a Ford and a Chevy.
Yeah. I don't have a preference on cars either. The only van that I had that I could drive was a Dodge Grand Caravan Sport because the Ford Aerostar was crap, and Chevy doesn't know how to make a minivan. So Dodge Grand Caravan was the last one, you know, and it had power. It also had way more power than the Ford minivan. Just FYI, in case anybody, at least back then, there was almost 60 more horsepower between the Dodge Grand Caravan Sport and the Ford Aerostar or Freestar or whatever it was called. So what's your favorite game though? You have a favorite genre or style of games?
I'm a first-person shooter.
Very, very good
Guy.
Now, Halo or Call of Duty?
I'm mostly into Halo. I love Halo.
Okay. I mean, even when you're playing like against other people online and stuff, you prefer the Halos. The reason I ask that is because the Halo style is a little bit different than like a modern warfare, like a Call of Duty, right? Like Call of Duty is more realistic. You know, you can't get shot 15 times and then let your shields recharge.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm asking. Do you prefer like the Halo style where you can, you know, run around, let your shields charge? It's not just like a one shot, one kill kind of a thing necessarily.
Sometimes. I mean, I still like my Call of Duties, but like I love Halo. I love like Gears of War, stuff like that.
Yeah. Gears of War is one of my favorites too. I mean, the Horde mode.
Yes.
I was always a fan of the Horde mode. And even in Halo, when they did it right the first time, in Halo 3 ODST, and was it the first Halo or was it Reach then? Halo 3 ODST and maybe Reach, the two firefights that they did in those two games were the best one of them all. All the other versions of them have been crap. So, and I just like the Horde mode on Gears of War,
Yeah.
dude. That was one of my favorite things to do after I beat the game. It's practically the only thing I did after I beat the game. The only thing I did was play Horde mode.
I think it was Gears of War 2. I think it's the only one out of the series that I've actually played completely through.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not
Okay.
not the other games weren't that good. I've been busy.
Absolutely. Tell me about it. I can barely remember the last time I picked up a video game. And Gears of War is a third-person shooter too, so it's also a little bit different. It gives you a little bit of a different style than the other games as well. But I kind of like the Gears of War and the mechanics and ducking behind cover and stuff, as opposed to Halo, where you kind of had to duck yourself behind a corner. There wasn't a way to set yourself up against the corner and then peek around and stuff. I was going to go somewhere else with the Halo thing. Are you a fan of the campaigns? Just like the whole story of the Halos and stuff?
Yeah.
Which is your favorite to play through the campaign?
If we're talking campaigns, I love the campaign in Reach, Halo Reach.
Reach would probably be my second pick. I can't not pick the original. I can't not pick the OG Halo 1 on the Xbox. I just that game to me was the pinnacle of all the games. I think that was the best one out of all of the versions of the games that we've had. I will still go back and play Halo 1 all the time. But Halo Reach, probably the next best one after that in terms of mechanics, the way the game feels, the way you shoot. And in fact, in many ways, it's an upgrade because it kind of went back to Halo 1 and that gave us a lot of the same old weapons and stuff, but then just kind of gave us an upgraded feel on them.
Yeah.
Have you played through all the Halos?
Yeah, I've actually got the Master Chief Collection,
Me
Halo
too.
5,
I
Halo
haven't
5, Halo Infinite, and ODST and Reach.
I haven't played. Is Halo 6 out yet, or is not out yet?
It's not out yet. I'm assuming Halo Infinite is Halo 6. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And here we all thought it was going to end after Halo 3. Do you remember that?
I know.
We thought, what are they going to do after Halo 3? They can't stop it. Too many people like it.
But honestly, like, I love the games. Not a big fan of the TV series.
Oh, I don't want to talk. There's a reason I haven't brought up the TV series, bro. They screwed up so much stuff. And if one of my friends is tuning in, because he likes to make fun of me for not liking things, but that's because TV and movies. If you'd stop just rewriting the story, you'd stop getting so many people that don't like your stuff. That's all I'm asking. We have the history between listen. Star Wars and Halo, two franchises that movie people screwed up. Movie and TV people screwed up. Why? The information's already there. Do you know why Star Wars and Halo is so popular? Because we're interested in the story. That's why Halo is one of the best games in the last however many years it's been going now. Why? Why do people keep coming back? You think it's really only because of the mechanics and the way people like the way the game plays? That's not why people are coming back, and that's not why so many people are coming back. Yeah, your multiplayer is great. Okay, definitely way up there. But people aren't buying it to play multiplayer. They're buying it for the story. The multiplayer is just bonus.
Yeah, I don't play online, and I don't know anybody who plays online.
I do. I have played online. I played Halo 3 online hard. That's the hardest game I ever played online was Halo 3.
Well, I take it back. I used to play Halo Reach online with a bunch of my friends.
Yep.
But
I played a little bit of that.
That's been like 15, 20 years ago. So
yep.
But
yep.
I literally play it for the campaign.
Me too.
Yeah.
What about the real-time strategies, the Halo Wars games? Have you played those?
Um, I tried playing them. I just can't get into them.
Those are my favorites, real-time strategies. Because I don't know if you know this, Wes, but I'm handicapped, physically disabled. I'm in a wheelchair. And real-time strategies are my bread and butter. That's where I live. So the Halo games, I have over 5,000 matches on Halo Wars 2. So I played a lot of the real-time strategies, probably as much as if you took all the hours combined between all of the Halos and compared them to the 2 real-time strategy games that they've come out with, they're probably even in terms of time played. I probably played all of the other 6 or 7 Halos the same amount of time that I played the 2 Halo Wars games.
Yeah.
If you ever need help with that, you let me know. I'll be happy to teach you or drag you through the camp. Halo 1, the new Halo Wars 1, the re-release and stuff. They made co-op campaign and stuff, which I think is awesome. I always like co-op real-time strategies.
I just saw the trailer for the God of War trilogy remake, and I am excited for that.
I've never really played the God of Wars. It's a different kind of style. I'm not opposed to those kind of games, but they've never been my main thing. Siphon Filter. Do you know about the game? Have you ever heard the game Siphon Filter?
Yeah.
They made 2 of them. That was the most game I played that's like a figure it out game. And I don't know if God of War is like that. I know it's a melee fighter game and stuff, but the boss battles and stuff aren't, you got to figure out what the boss moves are so you can figure out when you can attack them and stuff like that. And I got bored with those games after I graduated high school. I'm like, I don't have time to figure this out. I just don't have time to figure it out. I usually stick with sports games and shooters. Sports games and shooters is pretty much where I'm at. Adventures, Halo is the extent of video game stories that I care about.
Yeah.
I played Ninja Gaiden. I didn't even go through. I don't care about the story. I skipped through every cutscene. I didn't care what was happening. I just played. I liked the gameplay. I wanted to play the game. I didn't care about the story. Unlike Halo, where people care about the story and the gameplay certainly matters, but the story does too.
Oh, I hate those video games where you can't skip the cutscene. You're like pressing every single button, and I'm like, come on, I just want to play.
Yeah. Listen, the cutscenes are great, but after we've watched them the first time, on our 30th playthrough, we don't need to see, every single cutscene. We already know. We've been through it many times. I kind of like how games have been doing where you gotta hold a button in to skip the cutscene. Because I'm one of those guys who would always sneeze with the controller in my lap and then hit the button when I sneezed and then skip the cutscene I wanted to watch. So I kind of like the hold the button in thing.
I do too.
Well, I think we've pretty much covered just about all there is to cover. And we got to talk about some video games here for the last 15 minutes or so, which is always nice too. We don't get to talk a lot of video games. Maybe we'll try and do a Halo episode or something. Oh, that's interesting. I'll keep that in mind and keep you in mind for it.
Okay.
So go check out. Do you have a public page or anywhere where people can follow you?
You can find me on Facebook, Wes Segura, and I'm also on Instagram. I think it's Wes Butler 9.
If you send that to me after we're done with the episode, I'll make sure they get included in the description.
Okay.
So people can find you. Make sure you go check him out on Facebook and Instagram, and make sure you tell him that Mayhem Media sent you. So that way we can, I always like to tell people to tell them Mayhem Media sent you. Do you have a storefront or any gear or anywhere like that where people can get apparel or no?
Right now I'm in the process of getting gear made. or like merchandise, but I don't have. I have like maybe 2 shirts already made.
We're gonna talk after this episode's over, real quick. We'll talk. We'll see if we can't get you some gear. So soon to come, Wes Segura gear available by Mayhem Media. But in the meantime, until that happens, until we negotiate that deal out, go check out our storefront at bonfire.com/store/Mayhem Media Shop. It's at the top of the screen if you're tuning in and actually watching. Go check out. I'm wearing the Can I get myself up here? I'm wearing the Mayhem Diamond tonight, and that's from the Austin Diamond and Scott Diamond, the Diamond Cartel. We have their exclusive rights to sell their merch on our storefront. So go pick up some apparel and support us. We also have our own apparel, of course. So pick up something, share it out, and support the cause. You can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Hit that share button. Leave us a comment for Wes, and we will be happy to have him on again. Well, I mean, whether you ask a question or not, we're going to have him on again. So I'm going to try, and especially the more Aftermath Pro guys I get with you guys on, I want to really try. I'm going to talk to Brox and see if I can get like 4 or 5 of you guys on the same episode and just have all of you screaming at each other. That would be a fun episode. So get you all guys to do it in character. You know what I mean? Like have all 5 of you guys in character or something. Yeah. That might be fun. So we're going to try and work that out. What else am I missing? Let me plug some shows. House of the Dragon has just come back. We have our After the Dragon series that has started with it. It's going to air Sundays. It's no longer following House of the Dragon. We're all going to be on before House of the Dragon, and they are live episodes. So look for them and tune into those as well. Our Marvel series is now every other Saturday night, and that is not this upcoming weekend, but the next weekend is when our next episode for that is coming up. And I think I plugged just about everything that there is. Marcus Frederiksen is going to play us out as he plays us in and out of every episode. ReverbNation.com/Marcus Frederiksen, and share out your favorite song and tag us. Wes, thank you for coming on, and thank you for sitting here while I go through and plug everything for another 10 minutes.
No problem.
You know how you're a wrestler. You know how it is. You got to pay the bills.
Oh yeah.
So, thank you for coming on. We'll definitely have you on again, and see about putting together that big fun episode where we can get a couple of you guys together. That'd be great. And let me know if you ever want to join. So for something that's not wrestling related. I always love to have you on to talk about something that's not wrestling. So maybe video games.
Yeah.
I am your host, the Razor Ramon of podcasting, the bad guy, JD, and that's the end.